So, we've already had a pre-interview with Ariel, and we already filmed the video. Now, I'm back at my desk, about ready to start editing this thing. What I'm gonna do first is kind of do a first pass-through, first run-through A-roll cut. So I'm gonna watch the A-roll all the way through, and while I'm doing that, start slicing up bits that I wanna use in the story video. While I'm doing this, I'm gonna reference my notes that I took during the pre-interview. I'm gonna kind of try to find the story within the story video. You know, when Josh was asking questions, I'm gonna find the through lines, find kind of the plot and the subplots, if you will. Try to gather those up and put those together in a first run through of a complete story. This cut of the A-roll is gonna be pretty long. We filmed for about 35 to 45 minutes as far as the actual what she was saying. And what it's probably gonna end up cutting down to is about 15 minutes. Okay, so now I've completed the first pass through of, the A-roll cut. Now I'm gonna go back and look at the A-roll again. I've cut it down to about 15 minutes. Now I'm gonna look through that and be like, okay, what are the things I wanna keep? What are the things I don't want? And I'm gonna try to cut it down to about 8 minutes this time. So now I've been through the A-roll a few times and I've cut it down to a length that I think is manageable. So now that I'm at this point, I want to kind of get more into the nitty-gritty of the editing, start to really put the video together. So I'm gonna go find some music that I think matches the tone of the video, and I think that will flow together nicely to tell the story. And then after I do that, I'm gonna start putting in B-roll. I'm gonna try to figure out where B-roll will fit, how I want the video to really flow when it comes to B-roll and transitions, and using the camera 2 setup that we had as well. So yeah, I'm gonna start getting more of I guess what you would call kind of a finished rough cut. In my opinion, this is where the fun begins, I guess you could say, in editing. The video really starts to come together during this part, and this is where it gets good. All right, so now we're kind of on the last legs of our editing here, but these last things are still extremely important, especially when it comes to sort of the stylization of your video and getting the details right. So now I'm about to mess with effects and transitions to kind of make everything flow well and to add some stylization where I need to, especially in the B-roll. And then after that, I'm gonna work on the audio mix. And then finally, to finish it all off at the very end, I'm gonna do my color grade. Okay, well now, my edit of the story video is finished. Now it's just time to sit back, relax, and wait for any feedback from the client. In the meantime, thank you guys for coming along on this editing journey with me, and enjoy the first couple seconds of my cut of the story video with Ariel.
Hi, my name's Ariel and this is my story. Growing up, my dad wanted to be really important for me and my siblings to grow up in the church, but church really ended on Sunday for us. It wasn't quite brought into the home as much as I personally would have liked now as an adult. When I was 13, I was invited to church by one of those really good friends I had when I was in first grade, and it's so crazy to think now how far we've come. We've known each other for almost 20 years and he's still my best friend. But he invited me to his youth group. I hadn't heard from him in years, so it was just out of the blue. And to this day, I am so thankful for that moment. And that was really my first encounter of what life looks like with a personal relationship with Jesus. And so since that point, I had started pursuing. I asked questions. I did my best to really understand what faith looks like in this way, where it's not just this abstract thought, but really it's a relationship.